Rich people don't learn from poor professors, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my 3-step system for creating commercials or ads specifically for YouTube and Facebook. So here in my ski chalet, I'm going to show you my 3 steps to creating a commercial for YouTube or Facebook advertising specifically. Sorry, I'm making fun of Ty Lopez, but seriously, here's the 3 steps that I do to create ads for YouTube. I spend just hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars between YouTube and Facebook advertising my products and other people's products and services as an affiliate marketer. Now, the 3 steps are simple. It's HSE, and I'm going to be going through each of these. So first, you want a hook, okay? That's the first thing, a hook, or what's also known as a pattern interrupt. Now, when I started this video, what I said was, rich people don't learn from poor professors. That's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a new statement. In one of my other ads, I said, Jesus won't teach you how to be rich. And you want to basically tie together 2 different things that don't normally go together to create a good hook. That's a pattern interrupt. It's like, what? You know, one thing I said to one of my friends, which like just caught his attention, you know, I was talking about my experience at Burning Man, and I said, oh yeah, you know, I went out one night and I could taste all the lights. You know, I was looking at this red light and it tasted like a strawberry. And he's like, what? You can't taste lights. And, you know, but that's like catches people's attention. Or another one would be, you know, why don't models date poor guys? In that case, it's something that you don't normally hear said because that violates social taboos to say something like that. Or I could say, you know, like, let me tell you how this beer made me a millionaire, and no, I don't own this beer. And, you know, I could turn that into a story about, you know, how I was at a bar and I met my mentor, getting me started in affiliate marketing and online business and all that stuff. So a hook is just something that is very different from the norm, okay? And you can use hooks for anything, no matter what you're selling. I used a couple different examples, but tie together things that don't normally go together. I was at Burning Man and I was literally tasting colors and, you know, it's like, what? You know, where does things go from there? I think the best hooks actually sort of have to do something with the subject you're talking about. Like I said, Jesus won't make you rich. Right? I'm talking about money. Like that ad is meant to sell a training program of mine, which if you want to learn more about, there's a link in the description, or you could subscribe to my channel. But, you know, training program of mine that actually teaches people how to make money online. But most people don't tie together like religion and making money, or they don't say Jesus, you know, it's like, oh, don't use that name, you know, like, so that gets people's attention. Second thing is you want to have a good story. Everything, marketing, all sales is, it's storytelling. It's good directed storytelling that should overcome objections while you're telling the story and display the benefits of the product you're selling. Now, the way I like to tell stories is you can't just dive into a long story. Don't you hate it when you're talking to somebody, you say, oh, your dog got sick, what happened? And they launch into like this 10-minute story and you're just like, bro, I didn't want that much detail, right? You know, it's like, okay, like you told me your dog was sick, give me like 2 more sentences, right? And you're like, well, you know, I thought he'd really like this garlic chicken I got from Zanku Chicken, you know, the Mediterranean chicken place, and I guess dogs can't eat garlic, so he just diarrheaed all over my kitchen. You're like, haha, like I got a little more detail. That's all I want to know. I don't want the 10-minute version. I just wanted the, you know, the 30 seconds longer version. Now, after those 2 sentences, if they were to say, he diarrheaed all over the kitchen, really? Like, what'd you do next? They're giving you permission to go into a little bit of a longer story, right? I'm going to spare you the detail about what happened to my dog. But the point is, they give you permission to go into longer detail. So you told them 1 sentence, get into my formula. Told them 2 sentences, told them 4 sentences. And then what I like to do, let's say I tell the 4-sentence story, what you can do with a story, let's say that's about it, right? We're talking for a good YouTube or Facebook commercial. What you're talking about is you're talking about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Now on YouTube, you can go longer. You can go like 10 minutes. I say longer the better. But 2 to 3 minutes is a good baseline. Okay. Don't do it shorter. You're leaving money on the table. And I'll make up a story here. But basically my formula is tell them the story in 1 sentence. Then tell them the story in 2 sentences. Then tell them the story in 4 sentences. Summarize the story in 2 sentences. And then summarize the story in 1 sentence. Okay. With a call to action. And with both of these, you have what I call a CTA, meaning you're telling them what you want them to do. So let's make up a story here, okay? Let's make up an ad. Let's make up a story for selling you this marker. So I had the hardest time finding markers to do my training presentations on, but I came across this Magnum Sharpie I didn't know existed, and it has made people so much happier with my training presentations. It's awesome. Told you a story in 1 sentence. Let's go into the story in 2 sentences. So before, the problem that I had was that I was using these boards and I would be using this little marker, you know, those little itsy bitsy markers. You could like barely see, they're like these little lines and you could barely see anything. And I was going through all this time of like drawing diagrams and then I'd post the video on YouTube and people would be like, John, I can't see what you're writing. So I did all this searching and Googling and I went to different office stores and I found they actually sell this rare brand of Sharpies, that are really hard to find, called Magnums. And they're these huge monster thing. I call them man markers. And you can write big and people can understand them. Told the story in 2 sentences. Now, if I were to go further, I would tell the story in 4 sentences. So, you know, when I was writing small, it was hard for people to understand. And I felt like my markers were holding back me conveying information to my audience to help train them in something that's very important, which is learning how to start their internet business. When I started using these big markers, it completely changed around how I was able to teach, and it allowed people to actually get the information I was trying to convey. Since then, I've been able to get success story after success story. I have more subscribers on my YouTube channel than ever, and it's growing by hundreds a day. And not only that, but I'm also seeing success stories coming from my students saying, I was able to learn. The fact that I'm able to learn for free from mentors like you in such an easy to understand ways changed my life forever. Thank you, John. And that brightens up my day. Told it in 4 sentences. Now I'll summarize in 2 sentences. So if you want to learn not only how you can use a better marker, but if you want to learn how to train better, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and check out the videos. Then I'll summarize in 1 sentence. Subscribe to my channel and you'll get more easy to understand diagrams and information and training of how to start your online business. So I just told a big story there. Sorry for the long-windedness, but that was 10 sentences, okay? That would be a 2 to 3 minute ad if I was to chunk that down. You can follow the same format to tell any story. Use a hook and tell a story like that, and you can convey a message with a strong call to action that makes sense. 1, 2, 4, 2, 1. Now what I do if I want to make it longer is I will actually do 1, 2, 4, 16, 4, 2, 1, and I'll just do a much longer story. I kind of ramp it up in between, but I hope that makes sense. Let's get on to the last thing. The last thing of doing a good commercial is editing. This is, I don't know how to do this stuff, but I pay people to do it. Now for YouTube, YouTube ads are driven, and TV ads as well, are driven by visuals. If I filmed myself and I did this hook, I would take that video and what I would do for YouTube is I would splice some B-roll into it. I'd splice some B-roll of me using markers and creating stuff, and I'd splice some B-roll of like, you know, a close-up of the marker and a pan around. I'd do whatever. I'd add in some B-roll of some cool stuff. The visuals is what drives YouTube users because they're watching the ad and they're listening. They're hearing your language while you're talking through the ad, but they want to be visually engaged as well. The way Facebook ads need to be edited, again, you're working with a square. That's what shows up on Facebook. It's a square. It's not that rectangle which shows up on YouTube. You're watching a rectangle right now. But on Facebook, if you're doing an ad for Facebook, it's driven by not so much the visuals, but you need to be throwing words in people's faces. Most people, 84% of people, are watching Facebook ads without any audio on. They're kind of sitting there and they're looking at their ad, maybe they see the video, and they're kind of saying, oh, I don't want to click the button because if I click the button for sound, then I'm like invested in the ad. Most people use Facebook like when they're doing other things. Most people are not listening to your ad. That's why you need words flying in people's faces. You need to show people, why a marker changed my life, or something like that. That will get people's attention on Facebook. Here's my story. And then it's like the marker. People want those words flying in their face because they don't want to actually have to listen on Facebook to what the video is saying. So that's how you edit an ad for Facebook and YouTube. That is good information. That's stuff I haven't told anybody yet, and this is a whole new world, this video advertising stuff. Now, if you got something from this, give me a big like and put a comment in there and let me know what was the most useful. Was it learning about the hook and the pattern interrupt? Was it learning about the story? Or was it learning about the editing? This is new stuff. Nobody's talking about this, and I hope you're getting a ton of value from this, because if you are, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you can see what new videos I come out with. I'm always coming out with new videos on a daily basis about how you can create an online business and make money doing so. So look forward to seeing you in my next video.